Hello there, this is James Crawford, who knows 1978, eagerly encouraging everyone to please either rent or buy M.V.B. Films Halloween Shorts Volume 2 at either of the links listed down in the underbar, because having spent far too long this year watching theatrically released big-budget horror movies which drew in millions of dollars worldwide and have armies of fans across the globe, the truth is that this collection of short films directed, written and or shot by my incredibly talented friend Meosha made me feel more tense and anxious and contained far more genuine suspense than I can remember feeling during any movie other than the original Halloween directed by John Carpenter back in 1978, because while none of the short films in this collection are perfect, and I'll get to the constructive criticism in a moment, as a director, in my humble opinion, Meosha has the art of creating tension and suspense down cold, doing more to genuinely send shivers down my spine in a single scene with little or no dialogue than major filmmakers and studios could achieve in an entire movie with at least 100 times the budget. So while many may dismiss this compilation as a cash-in, with Meosha bundling together every scary and or creepy short film that she's worked on recently into an hour-long anthology and selling it online for $5, the bottom line is that she deserves our money, that she genuinely deserves our support, because if any one of these short films were the Kickstarter video for a longer horror movie, then speaking personally, I would do all that I could to support it. Speaking of feeling like the teasers for feature-length movies, however, the first real constructive criticism that I have of almost all of these films is that no doubt as a direct result of limited time and tiny budgets, as a lot of people said regarding many of the short stories that I wrote years ago, most of the movies in this compilation feel like single scenes that should have been part of longer films. And although as a director Meosha is a master of building suspense, that same lack of budget and time, perhaps combined with the lack of a genuinely outstanding script worthy of her talent as a director, meant that far too often the film cut off just as I felt certain it was building to a climax, or it had to throw in a relatively weak conclusion in order to wrap up the movie, with the major exception to this being Night Games, one of the longer films in this compilation, a movie in which, although it made my eyes roll at first because the whole two friends with a camera going to investigate a haunted location where at least one person has died premise has been done to death, the ending was still so powerful and so masterfully executed that, just as is the case with Halloween 4, I can forgive literally everything else. Indeed, this is precisely why I'm begging everyone who's watching this video to please chip in a measly $5 to support Meosha, because between them, the outstanding aspects of her short films put together serve to demonstrate that with the right script and a big enough budget, I sincerely believe that she could be the next great horror movie director, and even if she never does make it into the big leagues, the more support that we can give her, the greater the art that she can create. But getting back to the insignificant quibbles though, alas, putting all of these short films together in one compilation does seem to have caused a minor problem with the sound, which isn't there when you watch the movies individually on YouTube or what have you, and while it doesn't come anywhere close to being a deal breaker, it does get a little annoying after a while and may be a problem for some people such as my girlfriend who are hypersensitive to high frequency sounds. On top of which, while I don't know what the circumstances were surrounding the making of this compilation, and even major studios are often forced to simply throw things together at the last minute because of a deadline, lack of budget, or other constraints, and then simply hope for the best, it would have been nice if Meosha had been able to put a little more time, thought, money and effort into compiling this compilation, especially with regards to the couple of short films which feature a female actress on screen but have a male narrator reading what sounds like a letter describing their experience, meaning that although this cliche has been done to death, it would have been significantly less confusing if, rather than the first of these films being at the very beginning of this compilation and there being such a large gap between it and the second, they'd been put back to back and were preceded by the framing device of the narrator himself receiving and starting to read their letters in order to put the scenes into context. But as I say though, these are the petty complaints of a tiny, irrelevant mouse which are almost certainly the result, either directly or indirectly, of lack of funding, and so by chipping in $5 and encouraging others to do so, you can help to guarantee that they will never be a problem for Meosha Bean ever again.